Garfield Kart Furious Racing is finally out, and it's just as good as we all imagined. So I thought it would be fun to go through all 16 tracks in the game and rank them from my least favorite to my favorite. Coming in at number 16, we have Blazing Oasis. This isn't a bad track by any means, but there's 4 desert tracks in the game, and they all kind of blend together. This one, both in terms of aesthetic and track design, feels the least memorable and just comes across as a little generic. It is still a good track. I think all the tracks in this game are pretty good, but this is the least good of the bunch. Up next at number 15, we have CATZ in the Hood. This is the first track in the game, so it has a bit of an excuse that it would be a little boring. There is the one mudslide, which is pretty cool, but aside from that, it's pretty straightforward. There's nothing really interesting about this one. Number 14, City Slicker. This is another early game track, so there's nothing too interesting here. There's a few neat shortcuts, and I really like the visual boost that it got in this version compared to the original game. It looks much nicer and a lot more distinct. Up next at number 13, we have Crazy Dunes. This is another early game track, so there's nothing too interesting here. While it is pretty basic, I am a big fan of the track design here. There's some nice little areas that you can drift boost over. The 2 big things holding this one back is that it is 1, a very early game track, and 2, yet another desert course. Number 12, Mali Market. This one has sort of a cool idea. It's this sort of supermarket thing. I feel like it never really goes as far as it should with the concept, but at the very least the track design is pretty nice. There's a lot of fun turns, you can get a lot of cool drifts in. Number 11, we have yet another desert track, the Valley of the Kings. This one's actually pretty good. It has the cool multi-route section in the middle of the track where there's like a low path and then a high path. That's pretty cool. I enjoy that a lot. There's also funny Garfield statues everywhere, which gives this one a little more character than some of the other desert tracks. Number 10, PASTACOSI Factory. This is about as Garfield as you can get. It's literally a pasta factory, which is just an amazing concept for a Garfield track. I do wish it went a little further with the concept, but what they did is definitely really cool. Up next at number 9, we have Spooky Manor. This one I have mixed feelings about, because they got rid of the parking lot shortcut from the original game, which was honestly the most distinct thing about the track originally, and it's so sad that it's gone. I don't know why they did it, but everything else that they added I think really makes up for it, and that's why this one is higher than it would have been otherwise if it was the same track just minus that shortcut. It has a nice night theme now, which is really cool and gives it a more distinct look from all the other very similar city-themed ones. And like the original, this one also has a lot of really cool spring paths that you can take. There's not a lot of good spring uses in the game aside from you get a puzzle piece or you jump over a patch of grass. This one has a lot of multiple paths that you can take only with the spring, which is just really cool. At number 8, we have PALEROCK Lake. You know what, there's not even really anything special about this one. It's just a good track. I love at the end where it branches out into the 2 paths and then it combines into the last one towards the mountain. I love jumping over the lily pads. There's just, I don't know, it's super simple, but it's really cool and really well designed. I'm a fan of this one. Number 7, Play Misty for me. This one just looks really pretty. I just want to get that out of the way. I love the rain effect. I love that cool tunnel at the end, and you can see like water dripping through the ceiling. It's just so cool looking. I love the crazy fun jumping part, even though the respawn is kind of bad there, and you have to start at the start if you fall, which I do because I'm bad. But that aside, it's super well designed. I love it. The look is good. It plays the Garfield Show theme song in the background. Like, how could it get better than this except for the next, like, 6 on the list? At number 6, we have Prohibited Site. In the original Garfield Kart, I feel like this was one of the more challenging tracks in the game. I still think that's the case here, but some boxes were removed to make it a little easier. but it's still really well designed. It's a fun concept, even though it's pretty simple, just a construction site. It's good. There's nothing to really complain about here. It's just a good track. Coming in at number 5, Mysterious Temple. This is by far the best desert track in the game. The pink sky was a nice change from the last game, makes it a little more distinct. The whole going inside the temple is so cool. It reuses those same Garfield statues, but there's also some other crazy stuff. There's pillars in this weird sacrifice room. I don't know what's going on here. It's just a really good track. It's super fun. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good track, okay? I like it. At number 4, Country Bumpkin. This has such a good track design. There's so much cool stuff here. There's so many drift boost areas. There's so many hills you can cut by jumping over. There's the cool corn maze in the middle, all the mud pits. There's so much cool stuff in this track. It has such a good design. And just the theming itself is so good. It feels very Garfield, you know, in the strips all the time. And I went to the Arbuckle's farm a few times in the shows. It feels very Garfield, and aside from that, it's just a really well-designed track. Number 3, CASKOU Park. This one is so cool. I love the design. There's so many cool jumps at the start, just going off all the ramps. And the game's physics just makes it so bizarre, and if you have a spring, you go flying. It's so much fun to just play around with. There's some cool skips, you know, through the basketball court if you have the speed boost. There's so many fun turns. It's so good, and then just all the graffiti everywhere. They just made all this weird Garfield art to just throw all over the track, and it's great. I mean, you know me, I love a good Vito from the Garfield show reference. I don't know why he's here as graffiti and not a character, but, you know, we'll take what we can get. And my second favorite track in the game, Sneak a Peek. This one is just really distinct. They use a lot of the same themes and environments for a lot of tracks. But this one, the snow theme is completely unique to this track. No other track uses most of these assets. There's a lot of cool stuff. You have the little ice cave, you have the snowman everywhere. There's parts where you can kind of glitch and ride on the side of the mountain. I don't know that that helps you much, but it's cool. This is just a cool track. Haha, snow pun. I mean, same thing I've said with most of these. It's really well designed, and it has a really good theme. But this one is up a little more just because of how distinct that theme is. And my favorite track in all of Garfield Kart is Loopy Lagoon. This one has everything that I like in a Garfield Kart track. It has multiple pathways, it has a cool theme, all the pirate ships are super cool. It has crazy skips that are tough to pull off, but incredible if you can see them actually done. There's not even anything really that special about this one. It's just the most fun. Alright, here we go. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do the skip. We're gonna...